Koochiching Sanitary District Board to the order. Roll call. We do have a quorum. There's nobody in the audience.
No, we have
Ken Anderson, Darcy.
First on the agenda would be the motion to accept the proposed agenda. Motion can be made. So second. Motion has been made to accept the proposed agenda. Seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item on the agenda is the minutes of October 20th. Motion would be in order for approval.
So move, Brian.
Second. Any corrections or comments? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Next item is the disbursements of $86,251.22. Motion would be in order for approval. Second. Any comments or questions? I have one question. It's Rainy Lake Oil, diesel fuel.
that. I was told they filled like a barrel so that they could run the whatever runs on diesel. It's bulk. It's not for any vehicle. It's just.
Is that for the generators? Do you know?
I don't think it's generators, but I know it. They buy a tank of diesel every year for the winter.
It's probably for the generators.
Okay, maybe they're
We
diesel.
don't have nothing in the plant that runs on diesel.
Oh, yeah, the generators probably.
Okay.
That's what I would. Okay. Any other questions? There being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Moving on down, the financial second reading of the 2021 budget.
Everybody was sent a copy of the budget, and I apologize, I should have had Stacy send it to you in color, but I'll email it to you later today in color, because the blue signifies changes, and then in red I put what those changes are, so it'll help you to understand a little better. I'm not going to go through all the changes, but I'll go over the changes that were made at the last budget committee meeting. And that would be on the second page. Account 41315. We upped that to 3,000 to include 2,500 for the wall map. Salaries have been calculated in now with overtime. On page 3 of the budget, in anticipation that we're going to be having a maintenance agreement with the City of International Falls, we just budgeted a number of 5,000. I'm waiting to hear from Ken Anderson. They were going to talk about a loaded salary, what that might be, and then I will talk with Greg to see about how many hours Greg thinks we may need them. And then account 460 maintenance, $4,000, and that is to shingle our garage roof out here. It needs to be done. Next year we'll have to do the office. Any questions so far?
No.
Got one question.
What's that?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We use, International Falls truck
You been
to
sitting last night at the gym, you know.
clean our manholes.
Mm-hmm.
Are they gonna charge us for that? Before there was, you know?
I don't know, the maintenance agreement has yet to be worked out.
Okay.
I think that's
When it
something that,
comes, I spent some time yesterday with Ted, quite a bit, and, as far as relying on iFalls to do cleaning on any systems of ours, he said is pretty near impossible, because we've got so much cleaning to do ourselves. He said,
Right.
I just can't, I don't wanna commit to doing any cleaning for the sewer district, just because we got so much ourselves. He said, I just can't see it being done. The only type of maintenance agreement that he would like to see is, as far as agreement goes, he's talking about the 26 manholes on the interceptor, that the city has lines coming into them also, and in the spring and in the fall, or in the spring, they'll check it out, and have to raise or lower because of the frost up. Doesn't feel that the city should have to pick that up. That should be something that the sewer district should pick up, the cost of raising and lowering the manholes. So, excuse me, she's got something.
Terry needs the link to get in again. You can't get in.
it's the same link
Wait
as,
a minute. I don't know if you just forwarding the thing again?
Anyway, that's what I got from Ted yesterday. As far as the maintenance agreement, he doesn't think we really need a maintenance agreement. We just need to have an understanding that come time when they have to raise or lower the manholes, that's the responsibility of the sewer district, because it's their manholes.
Will the city of International Falls still allow that truck to go to the sewer district to clean out the manholes and at a cost?
The manholes, I don't think will be a problem. It's just any lines that we don't have time for. The manholes, we have stuff going into the manholes too. And as far as he said what he'd like to do is get a survey of all the manholes on that interceptor line to see what kind of condition they're in. And, you know, it could be broke where our lines come in, or it could be broke where your lines come in. It's just that we have this agreement that we can't clean, he said. So the cleaning part of the manhole is fine, but as far as any lines go, we
I'm
can't do it.
not talking about the line,
Yeah.
I know.
I don't think we're looking at have them clean and televised. To my understanding, we will continue to use HydroClean. But it's just maintenance issues, like, you know, if we need help on something.
Yeah. Well, no, he's willing to, he said, you know, as far as the manholes, maintaining those, yeah, that would be, but do we need an agreement? I mean, we can say what a loaded rate is, but when you ask how many hours it's gonna take, we don't know. I mean, first of all, the city's not a contractor, they're not gonna gouge us. They're gonna charge what it costs to do it, basically, and that's it. So it's, as far as it is projecting, when you can get a loaded wage, fine, but that's what you know, you have to pay per hour. But as far as making a contract of, we will do this and we will do that, though, he said he would help out and do the raising and lowering and stuff if you want us to, otherwise get somebody else do it. But they'll go ahead and keep doing that and then just get reimbursed from the sewer district.
Right, well, and that's fine too. We just don't want any surprises, like,
Well, it won't be as,
all of a sudden getting a bill for
it won't-
$1,500
it
or
won't-
whatever.
It won't be done unless it's authorized, and like, Greg would look at it and say, yeah, go ahead and do it. They'll do it, and then they'll get the bill. So it's not gonna be something that they're just gonna, oh, this needs to be done, so we're gonna do it, and they're gonna charge you for it. It'll have to go through authorization.
The cost will be put into that, whatever you give Kaylee for, maintenance.
Yeah.
X amount of dollars per hour for the truck and the people, or I don't know how they do it.
Well, I'm not sure but, and.
I'm not sure what you want from floating wages, I mean, what you're expecting is just regular maintenance on them, right, on those 26 manholes?
I don't know, it's just an overall maintenance agreement. Ken, are you there?
This is Brian.
Okay.
My understanding for this maintenance agreement would be that if at any time we might need some help from the city, we just need an hourly rate of what they're gonna charge if we have to use them to fix something, clean something. It wasn't to make a contract that we're gonna contract for so many hours of them doing something. All I'm looking for is an hourly rate from the city that they would charge if, in fact, we needed to use their truck to have them do something for us.
Yeah, this is John. I agree completely, and we don't want to make this thing too complicated. It doesn't have to be. Those guys on that level, doing the actual work, they get along real good. They can figure this thing out and make it work. And
right.
So that's what I would vote no against anything more complicated than that, than what Brian had proposed.
I agree with that. 100% there, Mr. Bruggeman.
Okay, there you are.
Or two, is just help out, you know, like the stuff they've been doing up to this point, you know, it's the intersection line is ours, so the maintenance should be our maintenance on it. So if it's because of a manhole that's got to get fixed or whatever, I mean, it's not that they want to fix it, it's just that we want to make sure that, you know, it's our manhole.
Right.
And if it's
Well, and that's why we put $5,000 in, because we know they're going to charge us for whatever they do. If we need them. You know, I'm hoping we don't, and that $5,000 stays in the budget. But
I think it's a fair figure, but there's not a whole lot. And again, another thing is, they want to make sure that they have access to those manholes, because we got lines in them too. So we just want to make sure that we don't have to go to the sewer district every time we want to go and check that manhole, because it's their manhole, but it's our lines going into it. If we got issues with our lines, we want to be able to have access to them. And as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't have to be in writing either. We have access to them. There's lines in there, just common sense that they'd have access to their lines too.
No one get along.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, Keon, continue.
all right, so then at the bottom, or wait a minute, I'm sorry. Account 464 chemicals, that's their pumped up. And that's because of testing requirements through the MPCA and our MPDES permit. And our 5-year master plan, we've raised the cost to the contract, and we've budgeted something for meeting expenses. And those were the only changes, other than the budget committee asked me to look into jackets and lined jackets, the bright green, for safety wise for the guys. Theirs are 7 years old and wearing out, so we'll be looking into a cost for them. Other than that, those are the only changes in the budget. Well, that will change if the budget committee decides to recommend that we get jackets. They're also looking at possibly an bib overall, you know, heavyweight. So when they're working out in the elements, that they're warm and put their name on it and the jacket, so they're identifiable when they go to somebody's house.
So that will be purchased, and they would, not through a lending company, but we're just giving to them and they take care of it.
Yeah, they have to wash it, clean it, you know. We have 3,000 budgeted, which was budgeted, you know, I had raised it, but now we're looking into the jacket, so that cost will go back up a little bit.
Did we use that all last year?
No. If you got any questions, that's all I had.
And our next budget meeting is
December, I think it's the.
When did you say the next budget meeting is? I want to make sure I got her down.
December 8th at 10 o'clock.
Got her.
Got a question. Do we have a plan timetable for resurfacing or fixing the driveway?
What driveway?
This one. Out here.
Years ago, Gary Stallman said the city would come and fill it in, and they have been nothing.
I wonder if we couldn't request that they do that. It's really getting beat up out there.
Maybe when they go by and fix the road, they'll swing in here and fix the driveway. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's no fix to that other than just redoing the whole thing.
And we've had
That guy who's gone.
people who use the sidewalk. I've heard complaints about like people that walk with walkers along our sidewalk, how bad it is. And they're usually village people.
That's the city's, isn't it? Well, for one thing, I don't know when.
Oh, yeah.
This is supposed to be done, this road's supposed to be done in 26 or 25. Coming in, we're gonna redo this frontage roads and everything else at that time, because a long ways to go.
Hey.
There's no action that needs to be taken out of the budget.
We need to, I think we have to accept the second reading on.
Okay. Motion would be in order to accept the second reading of the 2021 budget. Second. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same sign. So ordered. Old business.
I think we forgot to put financial reports on. Or we need to approve the financials.
You need a motion on that?
The financial reports, yes.
So move, Brian.
Seconded. Terrence.
Commissioner's Terrence. I assume that was a motion to approve the financials. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So ordered. Under old business. Permit letter from the NPDES.
You all
Can
received.
we, excuse me, now the bill of sale, that's ready to go? We're ready to sign that?
That's the next item on the agenda.
Oh, okay, but that first one, the NPDES letter, that was just a report on their inspection though, wasn't it? Was that that wasn't the permit, itself, was it?
No.
Yeah.
This is-
Okay, there's some things on that, inspection letter that, they're really kinda flaky. Can we take that up next time when Greg gets here?
Hmm?
Or do you know, or did you guys talk about this? Cause there's some non-conformances in there that are really, really shaky, you know, they're not good.
Well, they talk about some non-compliance, and Greg has talked to Montaigne about it. And,
It's record-keeping stuff, mostly, you know.
we rely on them as our contractor, that spreads out all of our stuff and knows where it's gotta go, but, we haven't heard anything, so we're hoping that no one
Okay,
knows issues. So they just, I think, left it open so that if there is some non-compliance issues, they can come back and talk to us or revisit it.
Now, this inspection was supposed to be for the year 2020, was that it? Or?
I believe so. I don't have a copy in front of me.
So, there's one bypass during the year? There was one bypass, is that correct? Well, anyway,
That's
we
a
have to do a response right away to this letter?
respond at all.
Well, okay. Can we bring it up next time then again too? If Greg is here?
Have Greg here so that he could answer these questions. I noticed that there was some non-compliance issues on this report from Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, and I think Greg's going to address those.
Yep.
Does that satisfy you, John?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, moving on down. Transfer agreement and bill of sale update.
So we have the transfer agreement and the bill of sale update, and maybe towards the end of this week or the beginning of next week, we'll have to get Terry and I think Robert to sign it. It has to be notarized, and then it'll be recorded, and then it'll be final.
Okay.
Have the paper, all the documents.
That will be put also on the next meeting agenda.
Or, huh?
Should be done by then.
It'll be
Just sign it.
completed
Let
by
us sign it.
then.
Let us sign it, no.
Yeah, it's all that you,
Don't be gone.
okay. I'll look at it and see if you have to sign it or who does.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the operator's report, which you have in your packet. Are there any questions on the operator's report? There being none. Move on down to the director's report.
Okay, we received the city's bridging plan. It was due on the 15th. They turned it in last week. And Jason and his staff are reviewing it. And I talked with Jason this morning, and we're hoping to have a conference call next Wednesday between SEH and us to discuss any changes that may have to be made, or just so that we have a better we have an understanding of what our SEH thinks about it. So our permit with MESRB and SEH, our permit under the MPCA was reviewed by MESRB and by SEH. And everyone was in consensus that, the permit, the limitations can be met. And we did go on record just to say that we think it's a little more testing than what is needed, but we will comply. East Cooch contract, the budget committee is looking at the East Cooch and North Cooch contract. And there will be some possible adjustments, and the budget committee will be reviewing this again at their December meeting, and then that contract will be brought to the board for approval at your December meeting. Map update, the map is now down in the plant so that the guys can look at it, make changes. Jason also is making some changes, so maybe at the December meeting, we'll have another draft to look at. That's all I have.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the audit agreement for the year 2020 from Walter exceed $7,350. A motion would be in order to enter into this agreement for the audit for the 2020 year.
So move. This is John.
We need a second.
Second, Brian.
We have a second.
So,
Any questions?
John, can I ask a question here? Now, do we have another auditor that's auditing our auditor?
I don't understand, John.
Well, no, I don't either. There's an audit agreement for Walker Giroux. And is that other guy? And Hani. Oh, is that the same firm? Walker Giroux?
Yeah.
Hani?
That's the name of the firm.
Oh, I thought Hani was another auditor that was auditing Walker Giroux. I'm sorry.
That's a good idea. Maybe we should audit the auditor. Good idea.
Okay, we have a motion on the table with a second to enter into the agreement with this Walter, Rayex, and Hain. Are there any further questions? There being none, all those in favor of this agreement signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. So ordered. Under correspondence, the WIF funds to be transferred in October is $12,843. Our next meeting is December 15th, 8:30 a.m. Anything else to come before this board? Nothing? Don't move. Meeting is adjourned.